and the accounting person will have to do the same thing again, right? It's time consuming and it does not have a good efficiency. And there is no integration between the paperwork and the 6300 documents. So there's no integration or poor integration if we do not have an employee portal, right? And there are another challenges. I know almost all of the companies have a poor workflow when an employee raises a request or raises some expense report. The documents and the request need to be approved, then flow into Sage 300, into the accounting system. But there is no approved workflow in Sage 300. So you can say without the approved workflow, there is a lack of visibility about the operation steps, okay, where the request says it's still waiting for the manager for approval, or it stays in the accounting person, the financial department for approval. So the employee cannot get to know, okay, where the request sits, and there is no lack of sufficient control about the budget control, and cannot count. Also, it's lack of the control on the operations, and as you can see, there are long cycle times because you don't know where the document sits. The employee has to maybe email or call several persons and get to know, okay, where the documents stays. Okay, so that's the reason we have been with Sage for about 20 years. We know Sage 300 well. So that's the reason we developed a resource manager. Okay, so let's say what benefits can resource manager brings to the Sage 300 customers. Okay, resource manager, okay, use the web and the mobile technology and develop the web and the mobile-based employee portal. That means employee when they are travel and managers when they are travel, they can, only if they can access the internet, they can log in the employee portal via web browser or via mobile device to log into the employee portal, to raise the requests, to enter the documents, and submit the documents or request to the managers for approval. And after the documents is approved, it can flow into Sage 300 automatically. So resource manager provides a unified form, okay, unified platform. Only one single Sage company database. That means a resource manager provides seamless integration with Sage 300. No need to transfer data, transaction data or master data between multiple software. Okay, and the resource manager provides real-time approval and based on multiple dimension approval flow. And with a robust approval workflow engine provided by resource manager, you can build the conditional workflows based on your real business scenario. Okay, you can assign supervisor, line manager, project manager, and department manager, or even a customer role as the approver. Okay, as you can say, employee can log in the portal to check, the audit trail, the approval trail. Then employee can get to know, okay, where my requests sits, which approver is responsible for my documents, okay, to approve my documents. Okay, you can say the whole process is automated, okay, and it eliminates the manual entry in the accounting side. employee can help themselves to enter the expense report or purchase requisition or timesheet. And these documents, after the documents is approved, can flow into Sage 300 automatically. And for the accounting person, they only need to sit in the back office as usual and double check the approved documents and just post them, these documents, to Sage other modules. Okay, so that's the some of the benefits that resource manager can bring to your customers. Okay, so let's have a look to see what resource manager looks like. Okay. This is the employee portal. The left side is the web employee portal, and the right side is the mobile app for resource manager. Okay, so you can log in with the employee portal with a popular web browser, a Google Chrome, IE Internet IE browser, or Firefox to log in the portal, and you can submit your request, your expense reports, your cash advance or leave request. Then after you submit the documents, it will goes to your next step, goes to the line manager or supervisor. It depends on how you set up the approval flow. And when the managers can get notified by email alerts. And when the managers log into the portal, you can say there is some reminders, remind the managers there are some pending documents to approve. Okay, you can say there is same reminder on the mobile app to remind the managers for approval. And after this is a workflow, resource manager allows you to create conditional and very powerful workflow. Employees start submit the requests and go through the multi-dimensional workflow. Then after the document is approved, it goes to the Sage side. In the Sage side, the resource manager provides a back office application which is embedded in Sage 300. Okay, just like normal fixed assets, just like Sage core modules, you can say it has the same look feel as Sage core modules. So the back office application is designed for the back office staff, such as the accounting person. They can just go to the resource manager back office application and double check the expense reports submitted by the employee, or the timesheets, or the requisitions, and then hit post button to post these documents to either general ledger, or to PTSA, or to account payable, or to account receivable. Depends on which module your client use and how you set up resource manager for your clients. Okay, you can say the whole process is automated. Okay. So this is a typical data. How to, okay, so we have an employee portal set up on the web server, and the web server collects the Sage 300 database automatically, directly, so no data transferring is required. Okay, so the employee can use a computer, laptop, or mobile app to collect internet and collect the employee portal. And the approved documents can flow into Sage 300 automatically. Okay, so Resource Manager, it offers a range of functionalities like, okay, purchase requisition and expense tracking, which comes with several functionalities. It provides travel request, cash advance request, expense and reimbursement. Okay, it also provides the time management suites, which includes three modules timesheet, leave request, and overtime management. Okay, it also provides some other requisitions such as the AP invoice requisition for the AP assistant to log in the employee portal to enter the AP invoice requisition, and after the requisition is approved, it can flow into Sage 300 and posted as true AP invoice. Okay, we also provide the item usage requisition for the employees to request material usage. Okay, and it also provides several tools for the project manager. They can use the web portal to manage the project process, such as to schedule the tasks of the project, to plan the employee's time, the time usage for projects and for tasks. Okay, it also provides the customer requisition. It allows you to create approval workflow for any Sage 300 master files or transactions. You can define your own web screen with workflow, and after the customer requisition is approved, it will flow into Sage 300, and you can attach a macro for the customer requisition and to run the macro for the customer requisition. And it also provides a customer report module, which allows you to publish any Sage 300 crystal reports on the web portal. Okay. And in the next version, we will provide payment requisition and sales quotation requests and more functions for resource manager. Okay. Hello guys, you can stop me if you have any question. I'm happy to take. Here are some real-world scenarios which can be handled by resource manager. Okay, we have the travel expenses for some companies. When an employee want to go traveling for business, they will need to raise a travel request, and after a travel request is approved, they can go traveling and they can claim expenses against the travel request. And for in some country, I know in Africa and in China, when employee goes for traveling, they might need to borrow some money from the company. For this case, they might need to raise a cash advance request to borrow money from the company. And during the traveling process, they can use the app or use the web browser to claim the expenses at any time and anywhere. And after the expense report is finished, they can submit the expense reports for the managers to approval. And the expense reports can integrate with PDSA or payroll or for reimbursement purpose. Okay, and if the expenses is job related, the expense reports can be posted to PDSA to update the project cost and to bill the customer for the expense spent on the projects. Okay, so I will show you with the two screen. Okay, let me go to the screen. Okay, okay, this is a login page of Resource Manager. Okay, you can just type the server address for the Resource Manager, and each employee will be assigned with a user ID and password. Then you can log in the employee portal. Okay, and this is the home page of the Resource Manager. You can see it provides quite a few functionalities, such as a calendar. You can have your work calendar or personal calendar, and if you are team leader, if you are department manager, you can also say your team calendar, say the team calendar, you can get to know, okay, how your staff's time will be, how their time aside. Maybe they will go on leave. Maybe they has been assigned to some projects and tasks. So you will have a very clear view about your own time and the time in your staff's time. Okay, can say when I see my calendar, I can say, okay, I have been assigned to today on this project and for requirement analysis and for 4 hours. Okay, and I will be continue to work on this particular project and the task for 2 days. Okay, then I have been assigned to another task on Friday. Okay, and we also have contacts. You can get to know the contacts information in the company, and you can let me create a Skype. Okay, can get the contact information such as a mobile phone and work email address. Then you can contact your colleagues easily. Okay, and we have the payslip. Okay, if you use payroll manager, normally payroll manager, or resource manager is very popular in North America, and for North America clients, they have U.S. payroll. They can publish the payslip on the employee portal. Okay, and this icon is grayed out because I did not integrate resource manager with any payroll module. And we have the two-up list for the managers to approve the pending documents. And we have the expenses for employee to raise their expense report, and the cash advance to borrow money from the company, and the leave request to raise a leave request when the employee wants to go on vacation, maybe for next week or for some time. And they can also go gets into the leave screen to see the leave balance for the leave types. Okay, and we have overtime to check out the overtime balance, and or you can raise some overtime request. And we have timesheets. If for some project related companies, they will they concerns the time that's spent on particular projects, so they will need ask the employees to enter time against projects, then update the project cost. Okay, and then for billing purpose. And we have the purchase requisition to raise purchase request, okay, against IC items or PO items, okay, and the PO purchase requisition after it's approved, it can be flow into Sage 300 as true Sage PO or true Sage purchase requisition entry. Okay, it depends on the settings. And we have the item usage requisition, and you can use the item usage requisition to request material, and such as some office supplies, and for your own use. Okay, and after the item usage requisition is approved, it can be flowed into Sage 300, and the warehouse keeper can issue materials to the requester, and to create IC internet usage. Okay, we have the AP invoice requisition and the custom requisition, which can you can, as I mentioned just now, to create any workflow against Sage 300 master files or transactions. Okay, custom reports. Let me show you. Okay, we have the time usage reports. Hit the print button. Okay, the crystal reports can be displayed from here. Okay, I use the standard resource manager crystal reports. It's the employee's time usage for employee work time, bill time, the standard time and labor cost, and see the margin. Okay. And we have a travel request, and we have scheduling and the resource planning. Okay. So let me go through here again. And we have the purchase requisition. Requester can raise the purchase requisition, then goes to the line manager or procurement team for approval. And for procurement team, they can use the quotation function provided by the purchase requisition to add a quotation, and for the requester to choose, or for the management person to choose, okay, which vendor they prefer for particular items. And the approved purchase requisition can goes to Sage to be converted automatically as true Sage PO, and you can do the receipt within Sage. Here we have the AP invoice requisition. AP assistants or any other person can raise the invoice requisition on the web portal, and after the requisition passes all the approval steps, it goes to Sage as true AP invoice. Okay. And for item usage, and requester goes to line manager or supervisor, and the warehouse keeper can issue the items. And in the current version, it will only create IC enter usage, and in the future version, we will enhance the item usage requisition to allow the project team members to raise material usage request to request the materials for their projects. Okay, which will improve PGC material usage. Okay, and we have custom requisition. You can requester can raise the requisition, and goes to approve 1, 2, 3, then goes to Sage 300 to update the Sage 300 master files or create some Sage 300 transactions. Okay, and we have the item usage, right? Item usage, okay. Time management, okay. Planning against the actual work time. And if the clients use the project scheduling functionality, they can assign the employees to some projects, to some tasks, and the planned hours will display on the work calendar. And you can copy the hours into the timesheet, and the timesheet can be posted to update the project cost and to create an AR invoice for billing purpose. Okay, that's the timesheet. And it also provides a leave and a vacation management function. Leave request, the approved leave request will update the work calendar. Okay, then goes to time card to give the leave. If one employee has been assigned to a project maybe for 1 year, his leave time will be part of the project cost. For this case, the leave cost will be flow into PGC to update the project cost and for billing purpose. Okay, and we have overtime management, and we have the project scheduling. Okay, you can see we have the Gantt chart screen on the web screen, and you can use drag and drop to manage the project tasks, and to easy to get to know the employee's time usage. You can see we have the status for each employee. Green means employee is free and can be assigned to any tasks. And we have the red bar, which means the employee's time for next 1 week or for next 2 weeks has been full assigned to some tasks. Okay, so that's the functions which is ready in Resource Manager right now. Okay, so now let me show you this process. Okay, one second. Okay, let's process. Travel and expenses. Okay, so for employee want to goes to traveling, he can goes to the employee portal, goes to the use the mobile app to raise a travel request. Okay, this is the travel list screen. You can see the left side. All the travel requests has been entered by the employee, are organized by status. Open means the employee has entered the travel request but has not submitted the request for managers to approval. Awaiting approval means has been the travel request has been submitted, but it has not been fully approved, and then we have approved the travel request. And when you after a travel request is approved, you can also cancel the travel request because maybe your traveling plan is changed, right? We have the canceled folder. Okay, now hit the new button to create a new travel request. Okay, request date and the notes and some optional fields. The optional fields are all Sage 300 optional fields. Okay, you can assign multiple optional fields to the travel request for to keep more information about the travel request. Okay, you can say we have maybe when you go traveling, you might visit several sites, right? So you can. I want to go Shanghai from this Friday. Then I will stay in Shanghai for 3 days. You can see days and nights can be automatically returned to Shanghai. Then I will travel from Shanghai to maybe to the United States, right? For 5 days or 4 days to US. Okay. Then I will fly from the US to Beijing. Okay, on 22 back to Beijing. Okay. And this is the location. This is the sites, cities you will visit. Okay, and how long you will stay. You can see on the header of the screen, you can see there's travel days. It's maintained by the system automatically based on the sites you visited and days you stayed for each site. And we have an estimate page for you to do an expense estimate. Say I will maybe have a hotel. I will let me say 8 nights. 8 nights. Right? I will air ticket. I will have, let me see how many air tickets. 1, 2, 3, right? I have 3 air tickets. Maybe one is 200. Beijing to Shanghai. And I have another one. It's also air tickets. It's 500. It's from Shanghai to US. And I have another one. It's also air tickets. It's 600 from US to Beijing. Okay, this the estimate is optional. You can. It depends on the company principle for you to decide whether you want to enter some expense estimate. Okay, but it's good to have, right? You can have a preview about the time cost, about the expense might incurred for this traveling. And you can also attach some attachments, any format, picture or Word or Excel file, any file is supported, PDF is supported, okay. And you can attach multiple documents to the travel request. Maybe when you're traveling, you can, okay, you receive some meeting invitation, you can scan meeting invitation and attach to the travel request for your managers to check. Okay, and when the travel request is done, you can hit the submit button. Okay, the travelers in the okay. It give me learning information. It says I have entered another travel request for this period. Okay, so let me change this. Let me just remove some from Shanghai and change the date to maybe for next month, right? From 5 days to Shanghai, and Shanghai from Beijing to Shanghai, then from Shanghai back to Beijing. Okay. Back to Beijing. So I have air ticket, just 2 tickets. Shanghai to Beijing, 200. Only have 4 nights. Okay, save it, and I can print out the travel request if you need. You can get the travel request aside if you date. Okay, so the date of the estimate must fall in the from date and between the from date and to date. So I change to 1, 2, and 2. Okay, now I can submit the travel request. Okay, now you can see after I submit the travel request, I will only 3 buttons left: print and the travel approval trail. Okay, you can see. Okay, my boss Bruce should approve my travel request, and Bruce can get email alerts when I hit the submit button. If I found that there are some problems with my travel request, I can draw back the travel request for modification if Bruce has not approved the travel request. Okay, so that means Bruce can use the mobile app or log in the portal to approve the travel request. Okay, let me log in portal with another browser, and you can see on the total approve list there is a reminder. Remind Bruce there are 11 documents to approve. I can go to the travel request. I can hit the hyperlink for document number to see the details. Okay, Linda will go traveling to Shanghai for 5 days for 4 nights, and the total budget about the traveling is $880, and I can see the attachments. I can open the attachments. Okay. Okay. Bruce can say yes or no to this travel request. Okay, looks fine. I'll hit OK button, and when I go back to Linda's screen, you can say, okay, this travel request has been approved by Bruce, and now the status of the travel request changed to approved, and it's let me check. Okay, this one, travel to Shanghai. This one, yeah. Okay, so now when I go traveling in October, some expense incurred, and I need to raise expense reports. That goes to expenses, use a web browser or use the mobile app to raise my expense reports. I can hit the new button, and I can say you can define the multiple types of expenses, maybe for project-related expenses and some expenses related to the travel, business traveling. So you can create multiple expense report type to narrow the expense type the employee can request. Okay, I will have to select the travel request because this particular expense report type is tied to travel request. So, now I need to select the travel request. And you can say when I select the travel request, the expense estimate I entered on the travel request can be automatically populated into the expense reports. Okay, I can hit the this button to display the original travel request. Okay, and I can add some description. My expense reports traveling in Shanghai in October. Okay, and you can modify the dates. You can modify the as resource manager supports multi-currency expense reports, so you can change the source currency if necessary, change the cost, change the quantity, change the amount, and you can set up the system to calculate tax for you automatically, or you can just hit the tax button to calculate the tax, then modify the tax. You can see the tax can be automatically calculated, and we have the reimbursement amounts. Okay, you can say for the hotel fee, the expense cost is 480 hours, but the reimbursement amount is 0. The reason is the hotel fee is paid by my company, right? So I should not. The company will pay the hotel fee, so I should not get reimbursed. I should not get paid for the hotel fee, but I should claim the expense because it's me who use who stay in the hotel. Okay, you can add some comments and you can add some optional fields if necessary, and you can also, if you have some credit card records, you can just import the credit card records and into the expense report to faster maintain the expense reports. Okay, you can attach some attachments, maybe some scanned receipts, scanned invoices. You can attach some, let me attach some pictures. Okay, save it. You can add more. You can also add the attachments for each line, for each expense line. Okay, save it. Then you will see there is a check limit button appears. Okay, if you enable the budget control ability, you will have the check limit button. Okay, I'll set up some budgets for the air ticket and for the hotel and the accommodation. Okay, the the limit is set up on monthly basis, but Resource Manager also allows you to set up the limit on yearly basis or year-to-date basis or daily basis. Okay, so the monthly limit is 10,000 for the air ticket, and the actual is 0, and the available budget is 9,000 something. Okay, so it does not exceed the budget, the limit. I can continue to submit my expense report. Okay, I got an error message because it tells me the value. I did not enter value for the optional fields airline. So I need to go to the here to maintain the optional fields. Okay, it's in Air China. It's Air China. Okay, you can say the optional fields can be assigned against each expense report type. Okay, so I can submit the expense report type. Okay, I get a warning information because you can say there's a budget for the travel request, but now the actual expense total exceeds the budget in the travel request. If you said it's okay, you can hit continue. You can also hit the cancel button to modify your expense report. Continue. Okay, now you can say you can draw back your expense report for modification. Can hit the approval trail to say, okay, it's my boss Bruce to approve my my expense report. Okay, so on this homepage, this homepage is for Bruce. Okay, so now I go to the to approval list, go to expense reports. Okay, I have my this one EV 103. My expense reports for traveling in Shanghai. Bruce can open this expense report to see the details about this particular expense reports, and you can set up the system to allow to decide to decide whether to allow the approver to modify the expense reports. Okay, in my sample data, I set up the system to allow Bruce to attach or remove the attachments. So you can see we have the remove button. On the attachment page, you can see the detach button. Okay, but you can set up a system to does not allow the approver to modify the expense reports. Okay, Bruce can say yes or no to this expense report, or Bruce can transfer this expense report to another person to approve. Okay. Okay, so okay, no problem. And now you can say there are only 3 expense reports left because Bruce has already approved that one. Okay, now let me go back to Linda's view about the expense report. See the approve trail. Okay, next step is Linda herself should approve the expense report. Let me go to Linda's view and can say Linda does not have the rights to modify the expense reports. So only this button, the download button is left on the screen. Okay, let's say okay. Now we can go back to the expense reports. Now it's approved. This one, 103. Now it's fully approved. You can say so the accounting person, they can go to the Sage site, okay, on daily basis, go to the expenses and open the expense batch. And for the accounting person, they does not need to enter the expense report again because employee has already entered the expense report. So for the accounting person, they just need to open the expense batch and open the expense report. And the second one, 103, can say everything is maintained. Travel request, and the backend person can also see the travel request. Just hit the travel request button to see the travel request. Okay, and okay, which expense type Linda claimed and how much. And the GL account is maintained automatically. And the comments and the file, the backend person, the accounting person can also view the file, the attachments that are uploaded by Linda. Okay. Here we have the attachment page. We can have a preview about the attachments. Okay. We have the approval trail. Okay, so the accounting person can get to know, okay, who has approved these expense reports. Optional fields, taxes, and everything is maintained. And the accounting person, you can set up the system to decide whether to allow the accounting person to reject the expense report back to employee for modification. Okay, and now just hit the post button to post the expense report. Okay, based on the setting in my sample data, this expense report will be posted to AP for payment because I want to use the EFT payment functionality. So I want to do the payment in AP. Okay, so AP invoice will be created. Okay, but also, but if you have payroll module, you can pay the expense through payroll module, or you can just pay the expense, use the payment functionality within Resource Manager. Okay, okay, just post it. Yeah, AP was created. Okay, so you can see how this process is. It's quite simple. Everybody help themselves to do his own job. Okay, without duplicate entry. Do you have any question for this part? Because you know the expense function is quite powerful. I just show you a very simple demo. And yeah. Okay, go ahead.
Question? Maybe.
Okay, please go ahead.
Hi,
Hello?
Lisa. I
Yeah.
got some question. This is Raf.
Okay.
Okay. What about for those receipts? You know, some system the staff can use the phone to scan to take a picture of the receipts, and then it will upload to the back end for approval processing. Is there a features cover this?
Yes. Because if you use your mobile phone to take a picture for the receipts, right? You can use a mobile app provided by Resource Manager to attach the picture to the expense reports. And as you can see, just now I showed you all the attachments you uploaded from the web portal can be viewed by the backend person. Not this one. Okay, you can see, yeah, these two attachments were uploaded by employee, but the accounting person can view these receipts, can view these documents. Okay, let me compare these two screens, right? Okay, 1 second. This one, 103, right? I attached the two receipts for this particular expense reports, one PNG and two PNG. And for the backend person, they can also view these documents. Okay, let me view from the web portal. It's a screen for the employee register. Okay, and sorry, how can I hide this one? I cannot hide. Okay, and for the backend person, when you hit the preview button, you can see the same file, right? Hello, Ralph?
Yeah, I can see that. So this attachment is actually the receipt. Am I right?
Yes.
I see. Thank you.
You can attach receipts. You can attach any types of documents to the expense report. Okay, and all these attachments, all the receipts you uploaded from the web portal will be flow into the backend and will be available for the accounting person to view, to check. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Any other question? Okay, just now.
One question.
Okay.
For the approval, we can use the email, right?
Yes.
And also the emails we can use for like the Office 365 also, right?
Yes, because the email contents is defined by yourself. You can show everything in the email about the expense reports, the total of the expense reports, who raised the expense reports, And you can also, let me show you. We have the email templates here in the back, Resource Manager backend application, and you can define what to display in the email. You can also add a URL link in the email body. So for the approval, you without need to enter the user ID and the password to log in the portal. You can just hit the URL link in the email body to be directed to the to-approve list automatically. Okay, so you can see we have a URL to the application. Yeah.
นี่มันคืออันนี้มันคือสิ่งที่เห็นที่ส่งเดินได้เลย
Hello.
Hello. Yeah. Okay. The second for the email is okay.
Yeah. Okay. And I want to show something about the approve workflow. Okay. The approve workflow need to be defined as the backend application, and you can define workflow for different transactions. You can define different workflow for expenses, reports, for travel requests, for cash advances, and for any transactions. Yeah, and for my expense reports, I define the workflow like this, and let me hit the preview button to have a full view of the workflow. Okay, so you can say the workflow employee hit the submit button to start the workflow, and it flows to the supervisor for approval, and then it goes to the decision. Here is a decision, a conditional workflow. Okay, let me show you. And you can say there are two cases. If the document total is less than or equal to 1,000, it goes only the supervisor approves the expense reports, then it gets approved. But if the document total is greater than $1,000, it goes to another person to approval. That means you can create a conditional workflow. If the dollar amount less than 1,000, only one step of approval is required. But if the document total is greater than 1,000, 2 approval steps will be required. Okay, you can say the first step is supervisor, and the supervisor, after supervisor approves the documents, it goes to the decision. And in the decision, you can define, okay, multiple cases, okay. Yeah, and you have some variables to create the conditional workflow, okay. And then from the you can say from the greater than this one goes to this approval, and then goes to end, okay. So you can say it's very simple to define a workflow within Resource Manager. Okay, Resource Manager provides quite a few roles. I mean, the approvers, specific employees, supervisor, region manager, division manager, department manager, project manager. If you enable the project functionality in Resource Manager, you will have the project manager, office manager, task manager, and the approval group as the customer role. If all of the predefined role cannot meet your client's requirement, you can use the customer role. The customer role allows you to use SQL query to create, to get an employee as the approval. So we call it customer role. Okay. So you can say if you have the SQL query, you can do everything, right? Okay, so that's the workflow. It's very powerful. Okay, and for submission and for approval, you can attach different email templates to this action, and you can assign different email template to rejection. Okay, if the expense report gets rejected, the employee can also get an email alert for the rejection, to get to know the rejection about his expense report. Okay, and in the email template, you can tell the employee why his expense report gets rejected. Okay. So any question for this part? The workflow is very powerful. Okay.
The amount that we can set up is into like a functional currency, right?
Sorry, functional.
We can set up for like how much it will be go to who to person in charge, right? The amount that we set up is in the functional currency, am correct?
Yeah. Yes. You can use the functional totals or reimbursed totals, and also the source totals to build the conditional workflow. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, any questions? I mentioned that you can create a different expense report type to classify the different expenses. Okay, for my sample data, I created several expense report type. This one is about it's this type of expense report. It's related to the traveling, business traveling. Okay, so I say you require a travel request. Okay, you can also decide who can claim such kinds of expense report. And I can also create some reports for project. So I have the project related. Okay, so if your clients use the PDC module, yeah, you can create some expense report type, which will be, this expenses will be passed to PDC to update the job posted. Okay, to update the job cost. But if you want PDC, you can also use the project function provided by Resource Manager. You can also update the project cost in Resource Manager. So you can say, depends on the settings, okay. Project related.
If we set up for like the project related, it will be linked to project and job posting or your own project module.
Yes, that's true. Okay, let me show you another database. I have this database. One second, okay. In this sample data, the expense is sorry, not this one. This one. PM. And in the expenses, I can create some expense reports, PTC related. Say here. Collect the PTC related. Then this expense, when the employee enter the expense report, they need to specify the PTC contract, PTC project, and some other category. And the expense report can be posted to PTC to create a PTC time card, okay, to update the project cost. So you can see when you go to the options of Resource Manager, go to the integration page. You can say resource manager can integrate with GL to create GL transaction. You can also integrate with PDSA for expense and for timesheet. Okay. You can also create AP invoice if you want to do the expense payment in AP, and it can also integrate with payroll. And if you do not use PDSA, but you have some very simple project to manage it, you can use the project function provided by resource manager. Yeah, resource manager provides some quite simple project functionality. Okay. Okay, so any question? I can show you. Let me check. I can show you my expense reports, which relates to PDSA. Okay. The module is not enabled for me. Let me log in. Oh, it's not enabled for me, sorry. I did not set up the system. Let me set up the system. A second. Okay, now let me log in the portal. Okay, now I can use the expense functionality and create a new one. It's PDC related. Okay, when I select the expense report type as PDC related, I will need to specify the PDC contracts, projects, and the category. Okay, but you can assign some default contract, project, and the category to the employee, so they do not need to enter everything. Okay.
This transaction will go to like the project and job posting module, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Which function will go to? Is go to like the cost transaction?
Go to PDC to create a time card, PDC time card.
Oh, okay. Okay, I got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I mean, you can create different types of expense report type. You can create some expense report type just for the project purpose, okay? You can create some expense report type for traveling purpose. For this type of expense report type, you do not need to specify the project contract or project, because it does not relate to PDC project. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, let's go quick about the purchase requisition. Okay, this is the purchase requisition, and you can define multiple purchase requisition types at the stage side. Okay, to classify the different purchase purpose. Maybe you want to some purchase request just to purchase some office supplies, right? Maybe for some purchase request, it's for purchase items or materials for the PDC projects, right? So within Resource Manager, you can define different purchase types for different purpose. Okay, so the purchase request on the web portal can be converted as purchase order, or converted as purchase requisition entry. Okay, you can decide whether the purchase type is related to PDC, and whether you want to do some budget checking against the purchase. Okay, for the purchase type which related to PDC, you can enable the PDC estimate checking. So when you enter the purchase request on the web portal, the system can check the purchase total against the PDC estimate. If the purchase total exceeds the PDC estimate, you can get warning information or get error, or maybe more approval steps need to be applied if the estimate is exceeded. Okay, so you can say you can define which vendors can be selected under this particular purchase type. Okay, so let me go to the web portal to create a purchase requisition. Okay, so this purchase it's for project, so it's job related, is automatically selected. Okay, since this purchase request is for PDC, so I will need to specify the contract and category and item numbers. Yeah, it's an employee, right? And I can also select a different purchase type. Different purchase, different PDC contracts and different purchase category and item numbers. Yeah. Okay. If this purchase purchase request does not relate to any project, okay, you can say you does not need to enter the project. Okay, I want to purchase some desk lamps, and I can say the stock for the specified locations, and for all the locations, how many lamps are now in the stock, and you can view some pictures if you define at the backend. Yeah. So you select item, you can have a preview about this particular item. Okay, I want to purchase some bubbles here, and will be received in location 1. I want to enter 100 and 200 bubbles and save it. Okay, you can also import if you have an Excel sheet. You need to you prepared. You can just enter the Excel. Okay, can add the quotation if necessary. Okay, if you have defined some vendor price at the backend, you can hit the use vendor price to automatically populate the contract price maintained in Sage. And the lead time 5 days, 4 days. Okay, some comments necessary, then save it. Okay, you can also add some attachments for the quotation. You have the budget button. You can define the two types of budget. You can tie the purchase request against GL accounts. So you can say we have the GL account budgets. The budget total is 0. The actual amount is 0, and this report is 43,000 or something. And I did not define any budget information against the item on the RM budget page. It's You can see when I hit the submit button, I received some error information. I need to maintain the optional fields. Okay, go to here, optional fields for color, black. Okay, now I can submit the requisition. Okay, I received a warning information. Says, okay, the purchase total of this requisition exceeds the available budget. Right? It's a warning because in the backend I define. Here I have an over budget checking option. You can set none to do not do budget checking, and the warning if the budget if the available budget is exceeds, you will just receive a warning information, but you can continue to submit the purchase request. You can also select the arrow, means if the budget available amount is exceeded, you cannot submit the purchase request. So it just depends on how you set up the system. Okay, but the budget available amount is exceeded, but I can cancel. I can cancel to modify the purchase request. I can also continue to submit my purchase request. Hit continue button. Okay, now I can say, yeah, it's one of the two persons need to approve my purchase request. So, you how this is defined. Okay, I have the purchase request. Right. So, okay, this is okay. Let me check which workflow one. Sorry, not this one. Not this one. Okay, so this one, you can see my workflow is quite complicated. Okay, it starts C-level director and goes to level 2. And if the purchase request total between 1,000 and 5,000, it goes to the CFO for approval. And if the amount is less than 1,000, it's approved. Okay, and after if the document the request total is between 1,000 and 5,000, the CFO needs to approve the request and goes to another conditional workflow. Okay, if it's greater than 5,000, the CEO needs to approve the request. If it's less than 5,000, it gets approved after the CFO approves the workflow. So you can say we have a C-level director, and the C-level director is a approve workflow. Okay, it's an approval group, which means you can define a person to approve the request. Okay, you can say I define the purchase board approval workflow for a group which contains 3 employees. In the approval flow, I select the role is approval group and its PR level, and I say any of the approvers approve this request, then this step can get passed. But you can say select all approvers, which means all the approvers defined in the group need to approve the request. Then this approval step will. So you can see you can use the approval workflow engine in Resource Manager.
แค่ครึ่งหนึ่งค่ะ
Okay, let me show you this quickly. I go to this one to approve my purchase request. Goes to the to-up list. It's Chris need to approve the purchase request. Chris can go to see the details, and Chris can see the attachments. If any, can see the optional fields. Chris can approve or reject or transfer the purchase request to another person to approve. And Chris can also add quotation to select a vendor. If you set up the software to do it in that way. Okay, for demo purpose, I just say yes. Yes.
Hi, Linda. Hi, Linda. I got a question.
Go ahead.
Is the item picture we maintain in Sage 300?
I'll show you. Okay, at the back end, we have item here.
Oh,
We can add multiple pictures to each item.
I see.
Okay, then Chris say okay to the purchase requisition. And now let's go back to Linda's screen. Let's see who is the next person to approve the documents. Okay, so based on the workflow, only one person need to approve the purchase requisition. Then it gets approved. Now, let me go to the backend. Go to the purchase requisition list, and the purchase requisition can be automatically converted as PO. You can say, okay, the PO is created, Sage PO is created. I can open, it's the one I raised on the web portal just now. The total amount is one, okay, the total amount is 100, the quantity is 120, 200. And you can see the purchase order, the Sage PO purchase order is created. You can hit the drill down button to display the Sage PO hit by the resource manager purchase request. This is a true Sage PO, right? It's automatically created. Just same as the expense reports, the backend person can also see the attachments, the documents that are uploaded from the employee portal. You can also see the approval trail, who has approved the purchase request. You can also check the budget for the purchase request. Okay, how much budget available amount left, how much budget this document consumes. Okay, so you can say it's quite simple. Email alerts can also be sent to the approver or to the requester, depends on the settings. Okay, so any question? Just to show you a very quick demo, because the purchase requisition function is quite powerful. It provides a lot of functions.
Hi, Linda. I have a question. We understand that there is a PW, purchasing workflow from Pacific Technology. How would you position the approval workflow from norming if we are going to compare this to the purchasing workflow from Pacific Technology?
Yeah, okay, that's a good question. Okay, I think resource manager provides the portal.
Oh, so that means the the okay, the approval can be done on the web browser, is it?
Or through the mobile app.
Or through the mobile app? Is the mobile app comes together once we purchase the resource manager?
Yes, the mobile app is free.
I see. Okay, thank you.
And the employee portal, it's we use the single database. That means the employee portal use Sage database too. That means you do not need to do some data transferring between systems. Okay, so everything you added, every vendor, every items you added to the Sage side, you will be able to pick up in the web portal. Okay. So we can say it's just one system, not different systems.
Okay, I see.
And all the workflow is built on the web portal and the mobile portal.
The portal can be run on any web browser, is it?
Yeah, all the popular web browsers are supported, such as Google Chrome, and Safari, and Firefox, or IE, or the free. Let me see this one. It's the Edge, Microsoft Edge. Okay, all the popular web browsers are supported. Okay, let's have a quick view about the project scheduling. Okay, if your resource manager provides the project management functionality, which allows you to the project process with a web browser. Okay, you can say if you are a project manager, you can see all the projects that you are responsible for. And today I created a new project called 6300 implementation. Okay, under this project, you can see there are 3 phases. Yeah, and under each phase, there are several tasks. And we also have some milestones, which stands for, okay, if a particular milestone is reached, which means which can stand for a percentage of a percentage of the project has been completed. Okay, so I can hit the Gantt view button to view the project in Gantt chart. Okay, say let me hide the left part. On the screen, you can say the whole project will. The duration for the whole project is about 2 months. And under this project, we have 3 phases needs to be finished. The first phase is requirement analysis and design, and the second phase is implementation, and the third phase is go live. And under the first phase, are 2 tasks need to be completed. The first one is requirement analysis, and the second one is the solution design. You can see there are some employees assigned to this particular task. You can right click on this button. A menu pops up for you to add more tasks here, or you can edit the task to edit the task manager and the description or duration or percentage of completion of this particular task. Okay, you can also start the task. You can also delete the task and add resources, add employees work on this particular task. And since you can see there are two person icon next to the task, which means there are already some employees work on this task. You can just hit the edit resource usage to see which employees has been assigned to this particular task and how many times, the hours each employee has been assigned to. So for this task requirement analysis, Linda has been assigned to do the task and from Tuesday to Friday, and Paul will need to do the same task for 3 days. Okay, you can look at the hours here, and you can see different color of the hours stands for different time status. Green means not assigned, yellow means partially assigned, and the green means fully assigned, and red means oversight. So if I change the hours to 9 hours, okay, you can see the color changes to red, because on the employee master file, I define, okay, 8 hours is regular work hours. Okay, and change to 8. Okay. Okay, so that's the time usage, and you can say I use drag and drop to create a dependency between the tasks. You can say I can, when I put my cursor, my mouse on this task, I have the button, right? I can drag and drop here to create a dependency for these two tasks. Okay, you can say after I create a dependency, you can say the whole task, the duration and the start date of the task has been changed because the dependency of we have the first one. Dependency means we have the predecessor and the successor dependency. Processor and successor. Okay. Processor means only if the processor task is completed, then you can start the successor task. So you can say the dependency. But of course, you can remove the dependency between these tasks. Okay. If you create the dependency, you need to complete the predecessor task. Then you are allowed to start the successor task. Okay. Okay, I can save it. You can view the crystal task about this whole project. You can also print out the Gantt chart. Right? Because you can just export the file, save file as a PDF or any other file format. Okay. Now, so you can see from on the screen, you can manage the project from the perspective of project to understand the state of the whole project. But Resource Manager also provides another view called resource planning, which allows you to have a full view of a particular employee's particular time range. Okay, let me say for Linda, I can select Linda to say Linda has been assigned to 3 projects, right? Okay, 4 hours on Wednesday, and 4 hours until on Thursday, and 8 hours on Friday. So you can say this 2 icon allows you to assign employee to project to tasks, but it provides different perspectives of view of the resources. Okay, the first one is from the point of view of the whole project, and the resource planning provides the point of view from the resource. Okay, so it's different, but both allows you to assign employees to projects and tasks. Okay, so that's a project scheduling. So you may ask me, what's the difference between the Microsoft? I know there is a forgot the name. Okay, let me check. There's a project management tool provided by Microsoft, the Office. I forgot the name. What's the name? I want to mention that the project scheduling and the resource planning functionality, as well as the PDCA module, is based on the same database. So any of the project manager modify the projects, you can the whole system will get updated, so you can get real-time update of the project status. Okay, but if you use different tools to manage your project, you cannot have a complete view of the project status. The benefits about the project scheduling and the resource planning. Okay, it's on the same database. Okay. Okay, I think you guys have a general understanding about resource manager. And you can tell me which functionality you want me to focus for tomorrow's demo, and or maybe you can send me some questions. I can answer questions for tomorrow's demo. Hello.
Linda, could you please show us some feature of cash as one? Cash as one.
Okay. Yeah, I'm now on the cash advance list screen. You can see all the cash advance request has been organized by status. You can hit new button to create a new cash advance. Okay, request date, require date, when you require money, how much you want to borrow from the company, and some reference if necessary, and comments tell your manager why you want to borrow money from the company. I want to go cover, so need to borrow some money from the company. Okay, then you can attach some document to the cash advance. Okay. Now you can submit the cash advance and say, okay, it's my boss Bruce to approve the cash advance. Now I can log in the portal as Bruce then to approve the cash advance. Go to approve list, go to advance request. Now, $10,000 for traveling. Okay, Bruce can say no or yes, or Bruce can open the attachments uploaded by me. Okay, to see the details. Okay. Okay, now Bruce can just approve the cash advance. Now the cash advance gets approved. Go to my Linda's view. Go to Linda's desktop. Okay, it's approved. Now the approved cash advance can be transferred to Sage side automatically. Go to Resource Manager, go to Expenses, go to Cash Advance Batch List. Yeah, the cash advance comes to the backend. Because my sample data, I want to do all the payment AP. So you can say the create AP prepayment option is created. But of course, as I mentioned, can just do the payment within Resource Manager to create bank, to create the bank check from Resource Manager. So it depends on settings. Okay, for this settings, for this cash advance, the accounting person can reject the cash advance request if the accounting person finds there are some problem about this cash advance. You can also view the approval trail, and can also view the optional fields, and he can preview the attachments uploaded from the employee portal. Okay. Now the accounting person can just post it. Yep. Completed. I can see. Quite simple. And this cash advance is sent to AP as AP prepayment for payment purpose. Okay. It's quite simple. And if you do not want to do payment through AP, you can just do the payment through Resource Manager. For that case, you can apply expense reports with the cash advance you entered in Resource Manager. So there are two ways to do the payment. Through AP. Payment through Resource Manager. So there are three payments through So for my sample data, set up the system to do the payments through AP. This way, the expense report create AP invoice. The cash advance will create AP payment. But if I want to do the payment through Resource Manager, okay, and then the expense report just post it to General Ledger, GL, Journal, and cash advance. Goes to bank service. Okay. Okay. For data, it's use the option 1, do payment through AP. Okay. So any questions about cash advance?
No question. You have question? Teacher has question.
I have one question.
Okay.
For the tax advance, we cannot refer to like the project, right?
Mm-hmm. Sorry. Can you please repeat your question?
Okay. For the cash advance, we cannot refer to like the project code, right? The PJC.
Yeah. Cannot enter PGC project for the cash advance. Yes. Can you do the same in PGC in AP? I'm not sure. Whether you can do prepayment. Yeah. This feature is there. Yeah.
For the standard one, for the prepayment, we can refer to the project.
Yeah, right now the cash advance does not integrate with PGC.
Not integrate.
Not integrated.
No PGC.
But for the expense, can integrate that to like the PJC.
Yes. Expense report can integrate with PGC. Yes.
ลงแค่แต่แล้วถึงจะเข้าโปรเจกต์ไม่ใช่ว่าที่เกิดการเขียนที่เอทีน้อยเขียนของที่30แต่เดียวเอ็กซ์เป็นมันสามารถหา เอาค่าใช้จ่ายออกโปรเจกต์ที่มันเป็นทรัพย์สินวางในทรัพย์สิน
ถ้าคิดเป็นไหมว่าจะมา offset กับ invoice นี่เพราะถ้า invoice มันมี invoice มันมี project
นี่ไงตอนนี้Linda if in this case right when you pay cash advance let's say go to ATP payment 10,000 when the employee they want to clear the advance they will treat the expenses the expense will go to AP invoice
Yes.
and we can refer to project during that time for the expenses
Yes.
Yes, and then how to offset these two transactions? You have something to offset, right? Maybe you can show tomorrow. No problem.
Because both documents are sent to AP, you need to offset the AP invoice with prepayment in AP.
Payment the standard feature in AP. Okay.
ออฟเซ็ตใช่ไหมคะที่ expense
ใช่ไหม
offset
300 feature ก็ได้โอเค That is the standard feature in Set 300. Am I correct?
Yes. Yes.
Understand. Okay.
But as I mentioned just now, you can do payment through Resource Manager payment function. Payment through Resource Manager, you can use the payment function to offset the expense report with the cash advance. So you have two options. You decide where to do the payment through AP Manager. It's just a setting.
Yeah.
AP is better
Yeah. Otherwise, you cash advance, you use bank service, the expense report, you go to GL. But for this one can refer to project as well, right? The second one, payment through resource manager.
Yeah.
Can we
So
refer
for the
to
second
project?
one, the expense will go to GLO and the PGSA, right?
Okay.
If PGSA related, okay, and the cash advance go to GLO and the bank service, okay. You need to use the payment RM payment to offset expense report with cash advance.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, in time card.
If you have clients who wants to use the cash advance function and they want to make the cash advance integrate with PDC, we can do it, okay? Because as I mentioned just now, Resource Manager is very popular in North America, but in North America, no one use cash advance function because every company use credit card.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's the reason why cash advance is not integrated with PDSA, because I have not received request for this module. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Then we continue tomorrow.
Just send the email to me. Please send the email to me to tell me your questions and which modules you are interested. Then I can focus
We are
on.
really interested.
Hi Linda, this is Ralph here. Because I'm the pre-sales, so most of the time I will require to demo the resource manager, the web-based resource manager. Is there any demo site that we can use?
Sorry, Ralph, I cannot hear you clearly because okay.
Just I would like to know, is there any demo site that we can use to demo the resource manager on the web browser?
You mean the video, some videos, right?
I mean
sample data
a demo site.
And Euro 45.
set. Yes, we have.
25.
I
Yeah.
can send you the demo set.
The demo site, not the set. Do you have?
US server. So I can send you the URL, the website, as well as the user ID and the password. Then you can do the demo
Yes.
from
yes.
the demo site.
Yeah. Thank you.
And Monica asks, told me she set up one demo site on server. So I'm not sure whether the demo site is ready. I mean the one created by. You can talk to her.
Yeah, I will talk to her.
Okay, thanks for your time. Maybe tomorrow we'll please wait a Skype meeting, because you can see there are some problems with the team viewer meeting, so we will have to use Skype meeting for